Hey, everybody, welcome to the Multifamily Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Peterson, and today I am going to talk about branding, why it matters, why you should be paying attention, and why the way people perceive you really does make a difference. So hold on, because we're gonna unpack a lot of things that I've learned from trial and error, and really from screwing it up a lot. It's funny how most of my lessons learned from me trying to do something and making mistakes and getting better and then making some more mistakes and eventually I think I've made so many I've had so much pressure that I maybe turned in. My wife will tell you that I'm a diamond. I still think I'm probably a lump of coal, but my wife, she's polished me to perfection, at least in her eyes, and that's all I care about. So today's episode is going to be really, really fun. I want to quickly just talk about a couple things that's going on in Kauna World, and give you guys a couple places a couple things that we've done. First of all, during COVID-19 and just all staying at home, self isolation, it's led us to say, what can we do to help, or how can we create on an education platform? How do we help people get ready and do it in a meaningful way? And so, what I decided to do was take every course that I've ever created, all my done, I call it like done for you stuff, but like my marketing packets, all my download files of everything that I've ever created, and I've put it all into one package for $97 a month. And so what does that include? That includes my cash flow calculator and all the videos and how-to videos and case studies and how to use that calculator and how to like unlock deals for you. And it's really a powerful calculator, but it's fairly simple to understand. And that was one of my biggest things, that most people's calculators are very complicated. And I just didn't want something like this. So I built something very powerful but simple to use. My RPM course, Raising Private Money. Dude, I mean, this is all the tools and tricks that I've used to raise millions and millions of dollars. That course alone, it can stand by. It's totally on its own. And we do sell it for a lot of money. But again, we're putting it in this little subscription thing, giving you our credibility kits, our marketing packets, a lot of our scripts, just really almost everything we've ever done digitally on a silver platter for you. And then, of course, our Apartments to Millions, which is our flagship course, just on the ins and outs of management, things you can do to make money, just all of it. So it's really from finding deals to making better NOIs, little things you can do to create rent growth, all that stuff. So all that stuff for $97 a month. And where do you go to get it? You go to KahunaHQ.com. So Kahuna headquarters, KahunaHQ.com, and you can subscribe and get that for $97. If you are thinking about getting into this business and but the cost has kept you from really trying to get good education, I'm telling you right now, there's no contracts. It's just $97 a month. You'll get access to my online membership site where you have all that stuff. And it is really, really cool. I think you'll really enjoy it. I know we really enjoy putting it out there. And we are still updating it. So, and not only that, we're actually going to give you a little bit of support, right? So, Mr. Everything, who usually sits behind me when I do these podcasts, we're going to give you a little bit of access to him to help you maybe look at deals, underwrite deals, things like that. So we really want to just make it very affordable and just really help people that are looking for some changes, that want to make changes, to get out there and give them no reason of why you can't get started and going in the right direction. So anyways, I just want to make sure I put that out there. And as a bonus, just because, right? This is what the cool part is. That's why I love this business. It's because you can just do things just because. I decided, and my wife seconded it. She said it was a good idea, that if you do subscribe, we're going to ship you both my books. So Why the Rich Get Richer, The Secret to Cash Flowing Apartments, and then my new book, Copy Your Way to Success, Standing on the Shoulders of Giants. So those are 2 books that we'll give you for free. We'll give you the real book, and not some digital download. So we'll send it to you, and that's just my way of showing that, hey, we do care, and we want you to learn. So take me up on that offer. Go to KahunaHQ.com, KahunaHQ.com, and get your copy or get your subscription. Get learning and start earning. Okay, so we are in a place right now, as we're kind of recording this, that America's starting to open up, and thank God. But I think we've all had some time to prepare and get ready, and it's still not here yet. Like, I still think there's going to be a lot more opportunity coming. And the reason I say that is even some of my properties are still not doing great. I've got a property in New Orleans that we're 88% collected, from the rents that we normally get. So where we normally have $75,000 a month in total income coming in, we're closer to like 55, and like that sucks. Now, luckily, we've owned that property for a long time, but for a lot of people, that type of disparity may be too much. And once the banks start saying no, we're not going to give you any more forbearance, there's going to be an opportunity out there. And I'm just telling you, I want you to be ready. So I want to talk about branding and truly why it matters. I didn't really understand this in the beginning of my career, but I absolutely understand it now. And when you look at branding, where does it start? Man, most people think of branding of, I got a logo. Because you got a logo, you're like, I've got a brand. No, you don't. Okay? You have a logo. That's what you got. A logo is a logo. Branding is way different. Branding goes from website to print to online versus offline, and all your stuff looks and feels, and people can say, that is the Kahuna brand. That's Kahuna. And so I've learned this because we start off with a logo, Kahuna Investments. And actually, I just started off with a name, Kahuna Investments. It wasn't until like 2009 that I was like, man, I need to hire someone to make a logo. And she just so happened to put a house for the A, and I just thought it was super smart. But it really worked. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then we had really good colors. And so we ended up having a pretty darn good logo. And the logo in itself was pretty sticky. The name Kahuna. So I knew when I started going out and networking and my local RIAs and things like that, people were like, hey, the Kahuna's here. I was like, wow, that's weird. I mean, my name's Corey, but everybody's calling me Kahuna. And I didn't really understand the power of that, that was just the logo, of people seeing my emails and the response to it and what was going on. But now I was like, wow, I'm getting heads turned. And so as I started to learn about branding and getting myself involved with, bigger masterminds, a lot of times, this is why I love masterminds, is a lot of times you can learn, like I'm on a relentless pursuit of information. I'm always trying to better my game. And sometimes being surrounded with people that are a lot better than you or a lot bigger than you will help, kind of expand your mind. Hopefully I'm expanding your mind right now, because I'm just going to regurgitate a lot of things I learned along the way. So there was I was in a mastermind, and the girl that was speaking and talking was specifically for a brand. She was a brand manager. And what she described and what she explained, and I just said it, she goes, just because you got a logo, people think you got a brand, but you don't. And so I just ripped that from her, by the way. Okay, so I just ripped her words. But it was so impactful because I was like, you're right. Then she went on to say, here's what branding really looks like. And she proceeded to give everybody a copy of her branding guide went around the room. And as I got it, I'm flipping the pages. I'm like, oh, Here's my logo. Here's the logos that how it looks behind a color. Here's the ways you can use this logo. Here's the ways you can't use this logo. By the way, here's the color codes for the logo. And then, that was just on logo design. Then there was fonts. Here's what fonts we use. Here's how the fonts go. You can put this font with this font, but you can't do it the other way around. There was specific ways that she was giving guidance, and really that a branding guide does just that. It gives you guidance on what you can do and what you can't do as a designer. So when you're giving that branding guide to somebody, it kind of gives you the rules. And I didn't think that this, when I first saw it, I was like, well, that's great, but I'm not a big company. I'm not sure if that's for me. But here's what I found is that people judge you. Believe it or not, people judge you. And they're going to say, hey, this is good, this is bad. And in our world, like for raising capital and being a syndicator, a lot of times they judge you on your website. What is your website? Does it look professional? Does it look clean? And part of that is branding. Like, are you using your colors? And it goes down to even on some of my websites, I'm in Kahuna colors. My wife is in a Kahuna dress colors, right? Our light blue. We know our color codes, and we kind of know our palette. So, and we specifically have shots now with our Kahuna colors. Like Shelly has a really red dress that matches my red. She has a nice teal dress that matches the light blue, right? I've got a shiny red tie. I've got a dark navy suit on. So when we're talking about branding, I also want to talk about why one of the first things I did when I really I'm like, I'm going to change my image as a company. The first thing that I did is I went and shot professional business photos. Now, I'm going to highly recommend that you do this. And you can, like in any city in America, there's a downtown. Go find a good photographer. Now, if you're in Phoenix, I highly recommend my buddy Daniel Woods. Daniel Woods Photography. He's an amazing. You can find him on Facebook, Insta. I think it's Daniel Woods Visuals. Guy's super uber talented and I would call him an artist more than a photographer. He really has that skill set. And so he took 2 days with us, and we went out and shot a bunch of assets. Now, when you start in this business, you're going to learn that you're going to start calling your photography not photos, but you're going to call them assets. You are creating some video and some digital, picture assets for your company. And those images and videos are going to portray, they call it a portrait a lot of times, right? Portraits, because they portray who you want to be or who you want your image to be seen as. Because a lot of times portraits are like doctored up a little bit, right? Like a good photographer, you want them to make my wrinkles go away or, brush that up a little bit. Because they want to portray you using lighting and makeup and all the things that they know how to do in the best light possible. Now, is that wrong? No. Is it right? I'm not sure if it's right either. But it is the way it is. And so, listen, but my wife would argue to say, yeah, well, I love my photos, so screw it. I don't care what anybody thinks. And I do too. So those digital assets really mean a lot. And they become your brand. You start building brand assets, brand colors. And so then, like, if you were to go on our my Instagram page right now, at Kauna Cashflow, you're going to see a lot of images that really, like, if you were to just kind of look at all the images we've ever posted, it has a theme. Most of the time, you'll see a recurring theme when they're really done for company assets, right? You'll see our company, our colors. We have different gradients that we use, but it's pretty much, you could look at it and say, oh, that's Kahuna. That's Kahuna's brand. And people start to realize, as you start getting a voice, and as a syndicator, if you're out there raising capital, you are going to have to establish a voice, a message. You need to put yourself as an elevated authority, speaker, whatever, to start attracting the people that you want in your tribe. Because that is really the art of syndication, is you're going to go out and find people that are looking for you. And so you want to, you got to have assets. You got to have a platform. So one of the biggest platforms is truly what you're listening to right now, is podcast. I highly recommend, if you're out there doing business, start a podcast. And we're actually going to talk about starting a podcast. We've got a series queued up. We've not done it yet. We're actually currently just we're detailing the step-by-step process. And by the way, listen, you can Google this, how to start a podcast. You'll find it like a million times. We're going to give like our version of that coming soon. But the truth is, a podcast can be very powerful, right? It can help attract an audience, and your audience will either like you or they'll turn you out and they stop listening. That's your only two options. And hopefully, you've got to be engaging and things like that. But you don't have to have a podcast. I know a lot of successful business syndicators that don't have any podcast, right? But they still do something. They could be doing a newsletter. We're doing a newsletter. And our newsletter is branded. You will know that, this is a Kahuna newsletter. There's going to be no doubt of what it is. You'll know, right? And so, again, branding truly, truly does matter, because it really is it ties it all together. And you got to be very consistent in your messaging. So if you use one font on one website, a different font on another website, on when you wrote letters and emails to people, if it's all googly goop and different stuff, it becomes kind of confusing of who are you? What is your brand? What is your message? So I've found that it's very, very important to stay way consistent in your messaging and the way it looks and the way it's presented. So with that, branding guide. So we've talked about a branding guide on other episodes, and so I don't want to shoot that, but I really want to just kind of touch base on why it matters now. And truly, the next 2 episodes that are going to come out are going to be on Shelly going out and talking to capital. She's going to show you how she does it on a face-to-face office visit with like doctors, dentists, and chiropractors, and really give you the verbiage and she'll talk about our branding guide or the things that we're using as to go out into the communities. And then she's also going to do the second episode coming up is going to be one on taking someone from, with a free book offer or a free report, taking someone from an online version to opt in for something to eventually get them into what we call the deal room and having a one-on-one Zoom call with that investor to talk about their sophistication and really ultimately get them to fill out an accredited investor questionnaire, which is what you're wanting to do to raise capital. You want to have pre-existing substantive relationships with people so then you can show them your deals. And so Shelly is going to be, we're going to do a 2-part series coming up in the next 2 episodes. You're going to want to see those 2 episodes because it's going to be amazing. And listen, Shelly, by the way, if I've never told you this, and I'm a horrible speaker sometimes. I really am. Shelly is phenomenal. She's a phenomenal leader, by the way. And I just want to do it on my wife for just a minute because I've never seen anybody that her biggest drive is she's a social person. Like she is, if you look at a disc profile, she's a high D, but she's a high D, but she's very. I mean, her strength is social, and where I'm more like I've got a vision and a plan, but Shelly's all about people, and I've never seen Shelly go into any situation where people have not just fallen in love with her. To where like when we were young and we were dating like 18, 19 years ago, we would go to a club. Or Shelly likes to dance. I don't dance, by the way. I like to watch. Okay. But we'd go to a dance club, and Shelly would like to dance, and then all these girls come on the dance floor, and my wife can't just dance. Like she doesn't do bump and grind kind of stuff. She like commands an audience, and you're just wanting to watch her dance. And so all these girls, and next thing I know, Shelly's got all these girlfriends, and they're all talking. She's like, "Oh, this is so and so, and she's from this is where she works. Whatever. Here's her boyfriend here." And like she knows intimate stuff about people. I'm like, oh my God, they told you that? She goes, yeah, well, girls just tell me stuff. And so she has a very uncanny ability to help pull out information. And so this is why you're not going to want to miss this episode, because you're going to watch her do her craft. And she does it, honestly, without even knowing it, of how good she really is. But I've seen her in action. And I'm telling you, by far, there's nobody, and I mean, I'll put my wife against anybody. No one can do it better than her that I've ever seen ever I'm almost 46, in my 46 years here on this earth. I have seen nobody that can do it better than my wife. She just has the uncanny ability to make friends and to get information. And then she can remember it. Oh my God, she can remember it. Now, how valuable is that? Because when you think about where you want to take, like when you're having branding kind of gets you in the door. People look at your stuff, they either like it or not. And then that hopefully leads to the next step, which then you're going to have to actually use your voice and command and talk and really reach in and find out what's important to these people. Because it's really at this point not about you, it's truly about them. Well, Shelly has an uncanny ability, and I'm telling you, it's magic. It's absolutely magic to watch her. So I didn't mean to like just talk about the next 2 episodes that are coming up, but I'm just telling you, I'm trying to prepare you that those are going to be 2 episodes that you will not want to miss, right? All right, so let's kind of finish up a little bit more on this whole branding and why it matters. I could tell you this from like experience. When I first raised my first $1 million, now branding version 1 is always better than version none. Okay? Make sure you understand that. When you start doing and creating some brands, you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to have probably not great logos or very concise messaging. And listen, that's okay. That's okay. I did too. I absolutely did too. There was a time, though, that I decided that I really wanted to step up my game. And the great thing is like Fiverr. You can go to Fiverr right now, and I think you can type in branding guide and get someone to create a branding guide for you, like for like cheap money. I'm just telling you, I would highly recommend that you get on Fiverr. And if you don't have a logo, get on Fiverr to find a logo. Get someone to design a logo, and then get someone to help create a branding guide, so you can have something that matters. And then if you don't have letterhead, get someone to design a letterhead. If you want to design a newsletter, give someone your branding guide. Say, hey, I need a newsletter designer template, and here's my branding guide. Can you give me something? And that's really how you get better at this game, is having people that are really good, like make some mistakes and try. And then you can say, well, I like this, but I don't like that. That's all I've ever done in my business, is move in the direction. Because when I look at my first marketing packet that I raised $1.4 million with, I want to vomit. I want to vomit. It's this ugly green color. It's not even my colors, right? It's horrible. Oh my God, it's horrible. I cringe when I look at it. And so, but it still worked because it was version 1. And version 1 is always better than version none. That's just a simple fact. And if you just apply that, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But as you keep developing, refine your business, refine your websites, version 1 website, and then optimize website, right? To best website. That's really all we've done. We've kept migrating and getting better at the craft. And listen, I'm still not there. I'm still on a journey. I've just been doing it for a while. But I'm telling you, you've got to start your journey today. There is no better time than right now to get in multifamily investing. I'm absolutely believing this is a good time to enter. And if you're serious about this business, you'll get serious about your branding. People will judge you, believe it or not. And that's okay. Some people will like you and some people will not like you. It's okay. You're going to find that you'll attract your brand, your tribe with your messaging. Excuse me. So whether it's good or bad, you're going to find your tribe eventually, and you'll find your voice. And just like you guys are listening to this podcast, hopefully I've done something right to give you enough confidence that, hey, this is actually good material. But branding guide. So again, if you don't have one, you're gonna go to Fiverr. You're gonna get one. You don't have a logo, go to Fiverr. Listen, spend some time, be resourceful. I always say to my team, I'm like, listen, to work for me, your Googliness has to be strong. Now, what's that? Okay, if you can't, because I always get this, oh, how do I do that? I'm like, I don't know. Ask Google. Because that's how I would do it. Like, if I didn't know how to do something, I'd be like, gosh, I got to figure this out. I'm going to get on Google and I'm going to keep searching for a video or something to finally show me how to kind of do it. And so that's what I tell my team. I'm like, your Googliness has to be strong to work for Corey, because I don't want to micromanage. I want to show you the vision of what I think you want to do, what I need, and then I need you to go find the details. Because or not, if it didn't, then I would have to do like I used to do when I was a one-man band doing all the work, is I'd strap on my hat and I'm like, all right, I'm going to get on Google and I'm going to figure it out. Now I've got other people to figure it out, right? So in the beginning, you may have to figure it out a lot. It's okay. Version 1. Get version 1 done today, guys. Do not wait. The opportunity is here, right? Get your stuff in order and start calling brokers, start calling money, get your stuff out there into people's hands. Start making a difference today. It's really no harder than that, because listen, this business, it can feel super complicated, but at the end of the day, just like my last episode that we talked about, right? 3 things. Call brokers, call money, and underwrite deals. Those are the 3 steps that you got to do. Okay. There's a lot of little things in between, but at the basics, it's those 3 things. But this branding stuff helps you get consistent. It helps you get a certain message. And if you tell the message over and over and over and over again, and it's the same message, you will start finding your voice in your tribe, and people will start paying attention, and they'll start giving you money just because you're consistent. Be consistent on your branding. Have fun. Guys, listen, in life, there's lots of different opportunities, lots of different things to go out there, but it really takes your mindset to win, right? That's all it is. It's all about mindset. Give yourself that opportunity. Tell yourself today that you're going to be successful and that you're going to win. Guys, if you believe it, you can achieve it, and your paradise is possible.